Today on FOMOPOP, we're going to figure out if it's worth switching your Starbucks fix for a cup of mushroom coffee. You're not going to want to miss it. This is FOMOPOP. Should you swap your cup of Starbucks for a cup of mushroom coffee? You're not going to want to miss it. This is FOMOPOP. And we're back with another week of FOMOPOP. It's actually going to be our last live broadcast next week, but today we're bringing you something pretty special. We've looked at a number of different products over the last couple weeks, and today we're looking at Four Sigmatic Mushroom Coffee. A box of 10 costs $14.99, so about $1.50 for a cup of joe. So we're going to find out live today whether it's worth it to make the switch. My boy Peter over here, coffee fiend himself, has been looking at this for the last couple of weeks. So Peter, tell us a little bit about mushroom coffee and why you'd want it.
Yeah, so to start with, those of you tuning in, as you remember, I drink 5 to 6 cups of coffee a day. I love coffee. I've decided I wanted to cut down on my caffeine consumption a bit, but I didn't want to have to crash. So I've been looking for a new product to help me with that, and so I've switched over to this mushroom coffee to give it a try. Today's the first time that I tried it. 2 different varieties. You've got this one over here called Stay Awake.
So you can actually see the 2 different cups of coffee.
So 2 varieties that they come out with, Stay Awake and Think. With the Stay Awake variety has energy booster with a mushroom called cordyceps, which actually used to be used as a coffee replacement in the Second World War. So
this is old school technology.
Old school technique. It's, like caffeine comes naturally from coffee. Mushrooms don't have caffeine, but they do have certain mushrooms that are uppers, and so they use this cordyceps in the Stay Awake one. And then separately, they have a Think product, which has lion's mane mushroom in it. That one's known as
or sometimes known as the king of all mushrooms, but it is a mushroom that remedy offers. Chaga mushroom, for example, inside and stress reduction outside, you don't have to use. Some people call it
and you just tear them open. So the nice thing about these coffees is they've already been brewed and extracted, so you can make this with cold water, you can make it with hot water, it doesn't matter.
So you can essentially have a whole cold brew or a hot cup of coffee.
Exactly.
So let's pour this in here. And
for those of you watching, you can see here, it looks just like instant coffee.
And actually, in the cup of coffee, it actually kind of looks like instant hot chocolate, to tell you the truth. Yeah. It has that very fine texture. What it smells like, it actually doesn't completely smell like coffee. It has a coffee scent, and it looks like coffee, but you definitely smell that earthy texture.
And so for those of you that have never heard of mushroom coffee, one of the things to remember here is it is 50% coffee. So the reason it smells like coffee is because there is coffee in here. That's where the caffeine's coming from. So the 50 milligrams of caffeine that comes in this cup, it's because they just use coffee to dilute it to get rid of some of the earthiness that smell.
So let's do before we do the taste test, let's actually compare the two of them. So the Four Sigmatic Mushroom Coffee, about 50% coffee, so it's a lot less caffeine. So it's about 40 milligrams of caffeine versus about 130 to 140 of Starbucks Via, their instant coffee. Starbucks Via is about $1.25 each. The Four Sigmatic's about $1.50. So you are paying a premium for the mushroom, but as we found out yesterday, Peter, there's a good reason that you're paying that premium.
These mushrooms are actually very expensive. So the chaga mushroom itself is actually more expensive ounce for ounce than gold or silver.
Liquid gold.
Liquid gold, right? So I mean, you are paying for a premium because you're paying for something that's more expensive than coffee to begin with. So that's the reason you're paying a premium. And then don't forget, these are nutraceuticals, right? So these are supposed to make you feel healthier. They're in a different category than just coffee.
Right. So let's try it.
Give it a shot.
I'm pretty excited. Peter actually has been trying it the last couple days, so we'll leave his opinion in just a few seconds. But I have never tried this before. I've heard about it a lot. I've heard about it on Tim Ferriss's podcast. So I'm interested to see what it tastes like. Before I take a drink,
a cup of coffee here as well, so just so we can do side by side.
Cool. So before I take a drink, I actually want to show you what the coffee looks like. So you can see it looks like a cup of coffee. It's no different in look than what you'd actually see. So it actually mixes in well, so I don't even really need to stir it. It just automatically goes together. So what I'm going to try first is the Four Sigmatic Stay Awake mix. So if I drink this and I'm awake the rest of the day, I might come back live on the broadcast later. So let's see how this tastes.
Make sure you give it a smell.
So to tell you the truth, I actually like the taste of it. It's certainly not a traditional cup of coffee.
Right, it doesn't just taste like coffee.
But it does taste like a good cup of instant coffee, and it actually has a very, very smooth taste on your tongue. So I'm actually kind of surprised because we've heard from other people that some people feel that it's too earthy, and I don't actually think it tastes earthy at all. I think it just tastes like instant coffee. I'm sure if you put milk in there, it would even hide that earthiness.
Yeah, I took mine with milk this morning.
So I'm going to actually try the lion's mane one now. So this is lion's mane and chaga. This is to let me think, so I'm going to ponder this. That actually has a very different taste than the other one. I would say it tastes less like coffee than the Stay Awake one. I don't know if it's because there's less coffee in there, but I would say between the two, if you want the coffee taste, I would stay towards the Stay Awake one. And then let's try it again against the actual coffee.
Yeah, and then for the viewers tuning in, I've done days without coffee, and I know the effects of it, and I know how I feel. When I switched over to the mushroom coffee just to give it a try, I didn't get that down. So I didn't have the headache, I didn't have the issues, because I was actually concerned, 50 milligrams of caffeine versus the 200 that I have on a normal morning. What am I going to feel like? And I still feel fine today drinking just one of the mushroom coffees.
And now that I've actually tasted it side by side with the coffee, let's tell you actually why we like this. So there's something less acidic about this. It's obviously less caffeine, so you get the benefits of the caffeine, but not the buzz of the caffeine. And then ultimately, there's health benefits to mushrooms, as Peter said, and this is a really good way to get those benefits without actually having to eat them or blend them into something else.
Yeah, they're good for your skin. They're good for keeping you from getting sick. They're a healthy benefit. They're just one of these things that you can go and you can buy them and dry them and then try and make them yourself and mix them into smoothies. Or here's a really easy way to get access to them with your coffee in the morning.
So for everyone at home, if you want to try this, our friends at Four Sigmatic actually gave us a 10% coupon code where you can go to their website and get 10% off with code FIRST-TIMER. If you see on the screen, there's a bit.ly link, 46FOMO, bit.ly/4SIGFOMO, and you can get 10% off your first purchase. So it's a great way to actually just try it. So before we go, remember you can sign up for the FOMOPOP 5. Every single week we find the 5 best deals and we send it towards your way. This week, what you actually missed out on was $10 off at Airbnb, 2 free cups of Starbucks coffee so you could do your own side-by-side test, and so much more. So next week, it's going to be our last live broadcast until we come back a little later this summer. Our big boy over here is getting married, so he's turning into an adult, so we got to give him a little bit of time to chill out. I'm Jason.
I'm Peter.
And this is FOMOPOP.